once again in the Lighthouse Diary, of course. I'm not gonna be on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. What I'm about to talk about, I don't feel it's mandatory for me to talk about it, but I just feel like I should anyway. So here goes. I've been noticing this narrative, and obviously I'm not the only one who has. Um, yeah, regardless of what denomination you identify with, or none at all, like me. um, yeah, I know we've touched on forgiveness in previous entries. Um, but yeah, I figured I kind of want to be a little more specific. Um, touch on something that I don't think I've mentioned before. Um, but yeah, this is also in relation to trauma, like you name it. Say yeah, let's just say for the sake of this entry, psychological trauma. Okay, so yeah, I think we're all very familiar with this trendy narrative, like, oh, I just build a bridge and get over it. It's just like, you know, I guess some people who like to pass that around might either be forgetful or completely not noticing how hurtful that is to just spread that kind of, yeah, just to spread that kind of rhetoric. Is that the right word for it? But yeah, um, I won't lie. Speaking personally, I would kind of take offense to statements like that, building a bridge and getting over it. And yeah, let's be honest, it's common sense that you're not supposed to rebuild bridges with certain people, right? So you know, that's where like it's irrelevant, point one. That kind of yeah, advice is irrelevant like for that reason. Um and but then again, like also like we're all encouraged to practice discernment. It does vary on a case by case basis, obviously. Um but yeah, I don't want to beat around the bush. I just want to let you know um, how this topic came about for me today. So I'm recording this right now from the 25th. And yeah, I will be frank with you. Like physically, I was just feeling a little weak, a little like colder than usual, even though it's spring. And even though the temperature and I don't think it's as chilly as yesterday, or at least that's just my opinion. I could be biased because I'm wearing the right amount of layers, but yeah. And I was also just feeling, mentally vulnerable. Uh, so yeah, those two things were happening together. Just feeling kind of like I didn't have as much appetite as yesterday. I didn't have as much energy as yesterday. So yeah, go figure why I would feel that way. But yeah, yesterday I was able to eat, pretty fine, and I was able to, be super, super hyper in like in comparison to how I was today with my cardio. So, yeah, I don't know if it was just my body recovering, but yeah, also on the mental vulnerability side of things, um, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit tempted to basically go back and forth in my head about certain conversations that I've had in the past that were uncomfortable. And you know what? I just had to stop it in its tracks. And like I tend to do as of late, I would tell myself, you know what? I don't want today to be about like that conversation that happened before that just didn't really lead to anywhere good, didn't really lead to anywhere, you know, anywhere that, or anything that would add onto me or add on to someone else that I'm supposed to interact with. Um, yeah, I basically told, those conversations or, memories of certain people, like, hey, like today is not about that. Today is not about you. I hate to be mean when I say that. Today is not about um, that failed friendship or relationship that we had. Um, I don't want today to be about that. Um, yeah, and I just got really honest as I was praying while I think while having lunch basically. I think it was probably breakfast as well, where I was just saying, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not going to pretend that, remembering those things doesn't bother me. I don't want to pretend that those things that were uncomfortable from the past don't make me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? To remember them. And yeah, I was just basically talking, you know, like to the Most High, like, hey, I'm going to be honest, I can't force myself to be happy about memories that aren't happy. I'm not even going to lie to you. I mean, not that I want to necessarily, put energy into, defending myself all over again, or not that I want to give so much power to people that I decided to leave out of my life. I mean, not to be disrespectful when I say that, not to continue fighting these people in my head because it's not bringing me up. And yeah, I guess for whoever, can relate to what I was just describing, I would like to encourage you to, yeah, just really pray from a place of vulnerability, you know. Don't worry about praying to sound good to others. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because at the end of the day, the prayer time is between just you and the Most High, right? You shouldn't have to worry about prayers sounding pretty enough, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, and to be honest, the journey to forgiveness, it can be an ugly process at times depending on what the situation was. You know what I mean? And let's be real. Let's be real about it. And yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to feel scared of, you know, opening up with like the Most High, like, hey, I'm just really struggling when it comes to healing um, the wound related to this person or related to this conversation or related to this relationship, so on and so forth, right? Because honestly, there wasn't a single moment when I prayed in that way that I felt like, the Most High was nudging me, Kaylee, stop. Stop talking like that. You know what I mean? There was never a moment where I felt like the Most High was telling me, like, this is inappropriate for you to talk to me that way. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I just wanted to pass that on. Um, your prayers, you shouldn't feel like worried, about your private time, sounding like good enough or like holy enough to other people. You know what I mean? Because that's your private time. That's your private time, and the Most High is working on each of us in different ways. You know what I mean? In different areas. Because yeah, we all have our unique set of wounds and things that we are meant to, yeah, cultivate within ourselves, so then we can spread that out into the world around us, right? So, and there's a reason why we're separate individuals to begin with, because obviously we all have a very distinct purpose from each other, and so it makes sense why our prayer lives from person to person, it's going to look different. And yeah, I just wanted to share that you shouldn't feel embarrassed about your vulnerability, about your honesty, um, in your prayer time with the Most High. So, yes, that's basically what I wanted to say. I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, I don't mind if you drop it down. And again, I'm also available on IG if for whatever reason down there is not open. Um, I just want to clarify, like, if it is closed, it's completely out of my control. Um, which thankfully I haven't seen lately, but yeah, for some reason, I don't always see notifications when there's a comment or a question. So yeah, IG is another alternative in case I don't see it right away. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope that this was helpful in some way. I hope this provided relief to somebody. Um, so yeah, stay safe, stay cozy, stay sincere to your healing and adventurous self, and thank you for being a friend. So I'll see you in the next Lighthouse Diary entry.